Test. Hey there. Opening some 1992 Upper Deck on the 4th of July. Hopefully having a little bit of fun with this. See if we can make sure that eliminates some of the shadows that we have going on here. I think as prices have been going up drastically with all collectibles, whether it's baseball, basketball, it's ridiculous. So I thought I'd have some fun this weekend, and order some old school junk wax as some people might call it, but I think there's some fun things to chase here. And 92 Upper Deck got the ability to chase for some Ted Williams autographs, and the high edition actually has Johnny Bench and Joe Morgan in it, so that could be kind of fun as well. So we'll see what happens, but gonna open one box for now. Just testing my setup here for the first time as I updated some things on my end, and bringing to life hopefully a new brand, Waxmatic, for myself. The idea being, let's have some fun with this, hopefully share some fun pools, but also some knowledge about the industry along the way too. So with that, I'm going to get right into it. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the 4th a little bit. Certainly one of the most interesting times in my life with the pandemic and everything else going on, but why not enjoy a little bit of fun this weekend with some basketball, baseball, whatever your interests might be. Run down to that local hobby shop, get something, find a friend online to break with, or you know what, order something on eBay like I did. I didn't have any expectations with 92 Upper Deck. I remember ripping 89 and getting a Griffey way back in the day, but by the mid-90s, I was certainly done collecting, and even 92, 93, from a high school perspective, was pretty close to being done collecting at that point. So this is kind of fresh in a way for me, something different. Probably not a ton of people in here we're all going to know anymore, especially if you didn't collect or watch baseball back then. What I always liked about Upper Deck was not only the quality of the product, but the photography was absolutely amazing. Larry Walker there from the Expos, now the Nationals. I'd have some fun with this. Rookies that never amounted to anything. Chris George, as a Brewers fan, I don't even remember the name. That's a pretty fun one with Biggio. But I'm actually thinking whatever I rip here could turn into some fun mail cards, and by that I mean just sending these out to people for autographs through the mail, for a cost of a stamp, a couple bucks. And supplies. I've had some fun returns, nothing crazy quite yet, but sent some stuff out to Bobby Witt Jr. right before the announcement and return to baseball, so hopefully get that back soon. But as far as 92 Upper Deck goes, I thought I'd chase some fun personal collection players, looking for fun cards like this. I could see that'd be a great one for Ripken to sign. Certainly the Milwaukee Brewers, childhood heroes, Ken Griffey Jr., things like that for sure. Some fun holograms. I used to sit on these as a kid all the time. Kind of fun. Roberto Hernandez. Man. You break through these things and you realize just how little you remember what some of the players, unless you're following a specific team or maybe a set of players that really find yourself connecting with. Here's one that I was looking for, Yount. Maybe pretty good as far as the centering goes. Maybe not so much the corners, but type of stuff that I was looking for, just to have some fun with this. Smoltz batting. There's a great photo, something for an autograph. Red McGriff. I love the action shot there too. Willie Randolph. Oh man. Ted Williams. No autograph, but you know, the search continues, I guess. Get ready for breaking some wax this morning. I had the opportunity to rewatch the 1995 NLDS, or I should say ALDS, with the Yankees and Seattle Mariners, which Game 5, probably one of the most memorable games of all time. Yankees tie up the game, take it to 10 innings. No score. 11th inning, Yankees take the lead on Randy Johnson, of all people. And you come up in the bottom of the 11th after fighting all season long, Griffey being lost to an injury earlier in the year. That team stormed back against the Angels to really get a chance at making it to the playoffs. I think they were a good 10 games back at some point in August when Griffey came back and really had a never lose attitude. And this is after the 94 season when, you know, there were a lot of concerns about baseball at that point in time. You know, I think namely, could the sport rebound, you know, especially after Tony Gwynn going after 400 that year. He was batting unbelievably well. Griffey, I think, had 40 home runs the year before the strike hit. Then you come back in 95 and there's a Tomei rookie, which is a nice pull there. And again, I love the way these look. You know, you see Jim Tomei nowadays, and like I can't remember he was a kid at one point there, but loving that shot with Chief Wahoo a little bit in the background. But yeah, you know, coming back from '94, that was a rough time for baseball. Didn't quite know what was going to happen, and you know, in Seattle, anyways, a lot of questions about retaining that team. You know, my Brewers, being the Seattle Pilots at one point in the past, lasted one season, and there are quite a bit of questions about could Seattle keep a team there. You know, they had a stadium in the Kingdome that was, I won't say crumbling, but certainly old. And Jim Abbott, I don't see too many players with disabilities, but one that stands out, and his ability to play at a high level, absolutely phenomenal. But it was great to sort of see what had sort of transpired there as Mariners really came back and made that chase at the end of the season. And here you are, Game 5, bottom of the 11th inning. Joey Cora bunts to get onto first base. And his speed, you know, representing the tying run, might actually have the opportunity to not only tie the game at that point, but, you know, potentially, with their never say die attitude that season, come back and actually win that game. And that's what happens. Ken Griffey comes back up, singles, I think, right up the middle, and then you have a real beautiful play by Edgar Martinez. Absolutely phenomenal hitter. He comes up to bat, belts a line drive down the left field line, and, you know, for sure, you know, Joey Cora is going to score because he went from first to third. There's a great Tiger shot with Cecil Fielder. You know he's going to score because he made it from first to third with Griffey's hit. Edgar, you know, there's a chance, you know, maybe you think that they stopped Griffey at third, but he had his wheels on and just kept running right through the sign, slides into home, and see an amazing smile on his face. as everybody mobs him right there on the field. It was a great play, and really mean it when I say that it saved baseball in Seattle. There's a lot of people that believe that maybe that was the end of the end for that team, and here they come back. They beat the Yankees, who are a nemesis for a lot of people. Kevin Seitzer loved him as a Brewer for the time he was with us. Just really amazing story. And if you haven't caught the documentary of Ken Griffey Jr. on MLB Network, highly recommend checking that out. I think it's actually even on YouTube right now. Don't know if it's legal or not, but you know what? If you stream it, you watch it, you enjoy it, go for it. So, you know, a little about me, if you're watching for the first time. Maybe tired of hearing my voice already, but just started getting back into collecting about a year ago. Headed to a local card shop, actually 3 different card shops, and found out really quickly that collecting has changed. It not only has gotten much more expensive, you know, thinking back 20 years to, that's awesome, Pedro Martinez rookie. It's another one I was looking for. I probably should be sleeving these right away, but you know what? That's okay. Yeah, try to jump back into something I enjoyed thinking as an adult. You know, I've got some disposable income for sure, and as part of that income, trying to think about what I could do to, you know, bring a little joy into my life, especially at the end of long days. Work in marketing. Not to say that it's hard, but it's not necessarily always easy. And I always loved baseball, so I thought, let's go and take a look. And almost immediately, like I said, I was quite surprised at the costs that were attached to some of the boxes. I think I saw leather and lumber for the first time. It's like, holy cow, looks cool, it's awesome. Didn't quite even realize that, you know, things have changed as far as some of the brands being collapsed. You know, I go back and remember everything from a Bob Wickman, another former Brewer, was also on that Yankees team, I believe, in '95. But I go back to a lot of the things that I enjoyed, and baseball has always been one of them. And, you know, I bought some stuff and realized that, you know, Panini sort of owned everything as far as basketball and football goes, but Topps still had the rights for Major League Baseball. And you know, I bought a little bit of everything, just trying to get a feeling for what was going on. But the 3 shops that I walked into, what you realize is just how little people were willing to help you. And lucky for me, I walked into Brewtown, a great little shop here in Milwaukee, and super helpful. Immediately started explaining everything to me so that I had a better understanding of sort of the space and what was going on, and really helped me, you know, take a look at everything that was on the shelves and make some smart decisions about the investment. But I think one thing you got to remember is, you know, the card shops still are there to make money. And, you know, you look at some of the prices and some of the markup, and, you know, certainly what we're going through right now. I saw 2020 Bowman, and we all knew it was going to be crazy because of the chase for Jason Dominguez, the Yankees' top prospect, or at least top international prospect last year that they signed, and 16 years old, has, you know, all the talent in the world, but Bowman prices were absolutely ridiculous because of the chase. It's a fun one with the Ripken brothers. And I think the prices initially, and I say initially because it's probably 4 months before release when I purchased a couple boxes online, $389. And, that's not cheap by any means. And I had sold some stuff, looking at different ways to make some money before that came out so that I could pay for those boxes. And that's usually the initial allocation that you're going to see from some of these distributors at that price. They've got some markup in it, I'm sure, but $389 on release day. You look at blowout cards, you look at any of the big names that were out there. That price was $650, in some cases $700, and that was the case here locally too. All the aforementioned shops that I had went to, it was anywhere between $650 and $700, and it saddens me a little bit because you look at that and you wonder why. They see the opportunity, they see the chance to make some money. I get it. I try to support my local shops the best that I can, but that's ridiculous. Double the price in some cases. And since then, the prices have fallen. I think I've seen 500, maybe 550, and that's fine. Whatever. Some people are still going to buy at that price, but just couldn't justify it, especially with what I thought was a pretty weak class as far as autographs and some of the names in there. And you look at the end of the day, it really was all about putting Dominguez in there along with Bobby Witt Jr. to drive that product cycle. And that's the case with a lot of Bowman product. You're looking for a couple key rookies. I'll pause for a second. Deion Sanders, I think 92 may have had a time lapse with him running on the field as not only a Brave but a Falcon. That card I would love to get. I think I may still have somewhere one of those hidden. But anyway, you look at the way the products are released nowadays, and it's all about investment, it seems to me, versus enjoyment. And for me, I had to take a step back looking at, some of the money I spent last year. Certainly hit some big things, but damn, if you have kids, in my case, I've got a nephew who's 9 years old. I want to enjoy something like this with him. I don't want to, find myself overextended or, spend a lot of money on product that just, doesn't have a payoff. And that payoff could be fun for you. It could be investment for others. For me, it's really about having fun. And I had to reset recently. And that's one of the reasons I bought some of the junk wax. Like, let's go back to this. Obviously Carlos Rodriguez, not worth anything, but if you can find some fun in here and turn it into something that maybe becomes, a chase for autographs via the mail, that could be something that's kind of fun to chase and have some fun with. But for the people that are doing it strictly from an investment standpoint, it kills me, man. I watch the people chase the distributors around town. If you didn't know, as maybe somebody returning to the hobby, you have a lot of people that are responsible for the distribution at Target, Walmart, places like that. And you have folks that become friends with them, in some case harass them, and they're buying up all the retail. So if you can't afford the hobby and you can't get to a Walmart or Target because you don't even have a local card shop, then you find yourself fighting against these people that have nothing else to do but go out there and wait for a delivery. Dante Bichette, loved him. They're just out there trying to get as much money out of it as possible. They see the ability to flip a purchase for a lot of money, and they're going to do it. And in a couple of cases that I saw, you look at 2020 Bowman again, some of the mega boxes that were Target exclusive. And by exclusive, you're not going to find it anywhere else. You're not going to find it in the hobby shop unless they're purchasing it. You shouldn't find it online unless they're purchased secondhand. That stuff was on blowout cards for $60 almost immediately. You had people selling the boxes that were retail $19.99, even with tax. Let's call it $22. They're selling that online for $50 a box, $80 a box. I saw as high as, I think, maybe 80, 90 on sold when I was researching a little bit on eBay, and I just can't do that. Again, if you can afford it and you enjoy it, go for it. You don't have the time to search for any sort of product like that when you go to a retail store, grocery store, whatever it might be. Go for it. But the people that are buying everything, and I've seen it happen many a times here in Milwaukee. I got people I see that I know that are just walking out with everything. Didn't leave one thing on the shelf for anybody else. And it's been a few times now where I found myself in that position where I could buy everything. And you know what? I just decided I wasn't going to. I'd post it to some of the local card groups that I'm part of and said, hey, this is what's there. Good luck if you can get out there and get it before somebody else. Not always the case, that's for sure. But then I don't know how many times people have told me that they've seen my post, they go out there, and by the time they get there, unfortunately, somebody's walking out with everything that was remaining. That kills me. Like, I don't know if there's a way to combat that, to be honest, except public shaming, and I'm not necessarily looking to do that either, because again, it's a free world. I get it. You're going to go there, you're going to buy what you want, but you know what? Find a way to give back a little bit. I believe in karma, hopefully good karma, occasionally with the things that I've done, and I remember even this past winter here, sort of before COVID hit, I had gotten lucky. It's a good one of Clemens, although I can't stand the steroid usage with them. But yeah, I got out to Walmart and saw some basketball, which everybody knows the Zion chase has really driven up the prices there too, on top of, Ja Morant, etc. It's been a really fun, interesting time in basketball, with just really how much talent was in last year's draft class, and obviously the impact that has this year on some of the prices. And Raul Mondesi, awesome hitter, rookie card. But I got lucky. I saw some product there, and it was Prism, which, if you're a baseball fan watching this stream, watching this channel, you might say, well, I don't care about basketball. But the story goes, I bought some blasters, and I thought, again, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to leave some stuff for other people as they kind of come in and shared the post. And I walked out with 4 blasters, and I think they had a mega box or 2 that was left on the shelf. I bought some packs just to, I think, satisfy the need to rip. And almost immediately, all of that was gone. Somebody had posted they had one up there, and unfortunately didn't see anything left. Greg Vaughn, go Brewers, County Stadium. And you know what? I was like, hey, if you want to buy them at cost, I'll sell you a couple of my blasters. I'll keep the packs for myself. And I did that for 2 different people. And I always look at the stickers. I think, you see some of them placed a certain way or wrapped a certain way, whether it's superstition or in some cases just stupidity. But I'll look at that and say, all right, I'm going to take that box instead. And I did that with a couple of them, and the numbers were, not necessarily in the same order as the rest of the stuff on the shelf. Tom Bernansky, he played for the Brewers for a little while. I pulled them and sold these for cost, and I don't even think it was a half an hour after I sold them to a couple of people I know in town, and one person I had just met, and he gets home, and what does he rip? RJ Barrett autograph. I knew there was going to be good stuff in there, but I'm not going to hate. At the end of the day, I was doing something nice for somebody else in the community, and they had a great time by paying for something at cost. And not only that, got a huge autograph out of it and some great cards. I think a couple Zions in there as well. And there's a moment where I was jealous, but, give back. I think that's the moral of the story. And I ripped a Mike Trout autograph not too long after that. Manny Ramirez, again, amazing hitter. Certainly some of the PED usage makes you wonder why. But prior to that, and even after that, absolutely phenomenal hitter. So, I guess I do that every once in a while, try to find ways to be kind to the community, and that auto that I pulled was damn good. Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout dual autograph coming out of Bowman's Best, and I wasn't so sure about that product, but was one of the last boxes. It was the last box on the shelf at the local card shop, and lesson to some of you: don't leave the last box out there. Just don't pick it up. Could be something good in there. It always feels like it goes that way. Maybe it's only the stories we hear, but Ventura. I've had luck more than once with that. I was just at card shop to pick up some supplies because top loaders, everything is ridiculous in cost right now, and I got an alright deal, but was reminded of one of the last boxes they had of 2019 Bowman that was on the shelf. One of the women that work there, and yes, we should be celebrating the women that are in the sport as well as in the hobby. She grabbed it because it's been sitting there for a while. Wander Franco autograph. Like that's what happens. That's why you got to do it. That's why we do this anyways, right? It's the chase. It's the fun of the rip. It's reminding us a little bit of our youth. That's really what I've been trying to get back to. The chase is fun, and don't get me wrong, ripping is incredibly fun. Dave Nilsson, Australian, Brewers backstop. Got to find that, whatever it might be. Get out there, discover it, enjoy it, make sure that you continue. That's an awesome one. I do not remember this strawberry at all after the Mets. First year with the Dodgers. Fun shot. Find out what you love, and I would recommend everybody find a budget. Got some articles that I'm going to be posting a little bit about budgets and takes on collecting, and I think the key thing to consider is: are you here to enjoy it, or are you here to make some money? Like I said, I'm not going to say anything about those that are trying to make some cash, but Azagin, former manager, for those of you investing, I hope that you hear these types of messages, that it sucks when we can't find product, and it'd be awesome if you could just leave a little bit out there for us, but I also know that's not going to happen. Another Manny. But if you can find the things you love, another former Brewer as well. Oh, Ben McDonald. Who doesn't remember his rookie card that really didn't matter to much? But it was hot. Set yourself a budget. Do something that's reasonable, something that you can afford to do, and start to look at the product that's out there. If you're a baseball person, I'm just gonna say it: screw Panini. Don't even spend time on it. I like seeing the logos. I like the official MLB licensing. You've got something, and certainly it's cheaper at times that you can do with that product, go for it. But Topps, that's where it's at. Bowman is essentially there as the prospects. And I think you'll find, Jody Reed, another former Brewer, you'll find some opportunities with Bowman to invest, especially if you like baseball. Sit back, enjoy prospecting. Who do you think might be good? Why? Do you read Baseball America? Enjoy that. Sean Green, oh my God, it's a baby. Go out there, take a peek, do some reading. I'm a huge fan of prospects for cash, and not because the author of that site focuses on, making money, but he does a great analysis of some of the rookies each year, I should say prospects each year, and Bowman, and all the different products. What you start to realize is, there's a lot more money in hitters than pitchers, but you start to get a little bit more familiar looking at the different stats. What are you looking for? Probably high walk rates, low strikeout rates. If you're looking at some of the pitchers out there, do they have one pitch, two pitches, or do they have an arsenal that they can actually use or develop as a chance to become a major leaguer? Or are they going to find themselves in the bullpen? You want to find those guys that have a chance at being more than just a bullpen guy. Aforementioned Edgar Martinez and the Kingdom. Go out there, you find those guys, put some money down on it, and then you start to look at the Bowman product itself, and really all products for that matter. Just a wealth of what people call parallels. It's not just a card. You're going to see it in different color. You're going to see it in a refractor, and that meaning that there's a little bit of color to it, and the silver nature of it. All the different types of refractors, and it gets overwhelming quickly. You got a lot of people that collect one person. They're going to try to collect all the refractors from the 1-of-1s all the way to the 1 of 499 or whatever it might be, and nothing wrong with that either. I think if you can do that and it's making you happy, you're enjoying it, go for it. I try to just collect the atomic refractors and some of the normal refractors, Sapphire being one of them with Bowman. It's an opportunity for an investment. You can get some guys, if you're paying attention to them, $2-3 a card. Maybe it turns into a $100 card at some point. And it's the same with Topps. You're still going to really enjoy the rookie cards and everything like that. But outside of the major names and those parallels or autographs, maybe some of the relics, people are just doing this, trying to find what's in the pack. And I think half the fun of collecting baseball cards is looking at the stats, looking at the photos. Like, who are we talking about here? What impact had they had on the team, your team, on the sport? You look at some of this stuff, and I guess I go to some of the shops or occasionally to a show, and it feels like everybody's just there to flip and make some money. And again, nothing wrong with that, but not where I'm at, not where my head's at. Trying to really just enjoy the sport, enjoy an aspect of like fantasy baseball for me is really trying to follow the prospects, and those prospects match up well with my collecting desire. Yes, you've got the Wander Francos of the world, but what about the other up-and-comers? Somebody that might present an investment opportunity, but somebody that you're going to find and follow. First year getting back into collecting last year, I sort of missed out on 2018 with Acuna and a lot of the other rookies, Ohtani. I had since picked up some of that product and gotten a couple of those rookie cards, but last year was amazing when you look at some of the rookies that were in that class if you want to chase. And with Bowman, you find these prospects their first card ever, and besides that being exciting for them and you, if you're into some of that, what you quickly realize is this is now somebody you can follow. Ricky, all-time great. Chasing some of him and some Topps product later. But by that I mean, now that's awesome. Ken Jr. and his dad. It's a great shot. Great card. I came across two guys, Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners, actually, and the guy's got multiple tools as you start to read up on him, and I love discovering things like that. Here's a player that just starting their career, somebody that hopefully will have a long career, somebody that could certainly take a franchise like the Mariners and help them and help them in a few different ways, because they certainly need some growth again back up in the Seattle area. And he and Jared Klenick, who's a Wisconsin native, another reason I've been sort of following him. Fuck Gary Sheffield. Man, this guy had an attitude. Could have been great in Milwaukee. Was certainly solid after leaving Milwaukee, but really ruined baseball for a while for me. But you find someone like Julio, and then you start following him, J-Rod, on Instagram. Get to know the guy. You get to better understand, some of his tools, what impact he can have in the major leagues. You got an autograph. You've got some of his first cars. Like, how cool is that you can, pick somebody like that and follow them for a while? And it's the same exact thing with Marco Luciano, one of the top international prospects that San Francisco had signed, and absolutely great hit tool. A lot of other intangibles, seems, from everything I read. Has a great understanding of the great game, has a great understanding of just what it takes to be a professional, and that sort of dedication just, I guess, sort of speaks to me, and I'm excited to kind of follow the guy. Yes, I've got his autograph. No, I'm not going to sell it. In fact, I found myself, investing in a couple other things with his name on it, just because I want him to be somebody that succeeds, but somebody that I can follow. And I think that's the piece that I love most about collecting cards in baseball. So many opportunities for success in this sport. And, I'll also be honest, it doesn't happen all that often, unfortunately. Injuries and everything else that might happen to a player's career. But Kel Eldred, ton of potential, was great for a few years. Injuries got him too. But that's the stuff that you need to find. That's the stuff you need to enjoy. Great shot of Greg Vaughn. Looking at a low pitch, maybe, when he's going to hit it. Anyway, now I feel like I'm on my soapbox a little bit, but screw it. It's my channel. A couple more packs left, 4 packs left. Pretty much everything I'm putting aside, I've been thinking about either, autograph opportunities with them, or I really like the photo, might just go into the personal collection. Everything else here, I'll just donate back to the card store, give it to some kids, use it for packaging. Great shot of Tom Gordon. But yeah, do what you enjoy. For me, that's it. I always love the artist sort of component to Upper Deck. Not to say that Donruss and, Topps haven't done the same thing, but I don't know, I felt there was always a little bit of polish, and I love seeing Project 2020 from Topps right now. So if you go to Topps.com and you haven't seen it, they identified a handful of artists and some iconic cards, and they're taking their abilities and their art and applying it to those great cards. And what's kind of cool is to see their interpretation. Sophia Chang, one of those that I really, really like seeing every time they're released. Ermsey has some awesome cards that he's been pushing out as well, but harkens a little bit back to some of this artwork that I remember from my youth that it's just fun. Derek Bell. You see this stuff, you have some memories attached to it, and it's really what Project 2020 has done to me. It's like it's elevated some artists that I was already aware of, and then certainly the ones I wasn't aware of. But has you looking at the stats again, at the cards, discovering more about these players that you follow. you see, like little Easter eggs in each card that are fun, that make you read or think a little bit more about what you're seeing. That's the fun of it for me. Kenny Lofton. I worked with somebody that grew up with Kenny Lofton. I don't know if it was bullshit, if it was real, but you seem to know enough about Kenny Lofton that makes me think it was probably real. Last pack. I'll be back after this, ripping something else. I think I might hold on to one more of these 92s for a while, but I've got some Bowman. Maybe we'll try that out next and see if I can get lucky there. Might not upload everything today, might not live stream everything today, but find a way to space that out a little bit. Give people a reason to come back. If they come back, I might say, screw it. I don't like hearing this guy. It's a good rookie. So there we go. No Ted Williams autographs. How cool would that be? But some other fun cards here. Some nice rookies. Oh, goodness. Like I said, I'm not overly concerned with these. There's some value, but I'm doing this just for fun, doing it for my personal collection. Tomei's a nice one. Only one Yount. Some other Brewers. But yeah, that's it. Let's have some fun together. If you so wish, follow me on social. I'm going to set up some separate handles, I think, for all of my wax, but if you want to follow my blog, some links down below. Certainly do that. Give me the follow. I appreciate it. If not, you know what? Follow me on YouTube. That's enough by me. So, thank you. Been fun. We'll see you guys soon.